photo walking today in the city of Dana Point, California, the self-described whale watching and dolphin watching capital of the West. I'm Jefferson Graham. I'm your guide for today's photo walk. The whole goal of the channel is to bring you to great places like this and bring them to life and to show you what it's like to be here through photos and video. I'm a lifelong photographer, writer, and video maker. I get a big kick out of sharing my love of exploring new places and meeting some fun new people. Think of this photo walk as your Dana Point postcard Instagram tour. I'm going to show you where to get all the best spots in town, as well as how, when, and where to get them. Dana Point is a small coastal California town in Orange County. It's best known, of course, for the whale watching and as the birthplace of Southern California surfing. It once spawned a wave so awesome it was called Killer Dana. But that break went away when the harbor was built in 1966. Some logistics. Dana Point's about halfway between San Diego and Los Angeles, just a few miles from the edge of coastal Orange County at the beginning of Highway 1. The Great Orange County Beach road trip starts in Dana Point and continues up the road to the Laguna Beach, Newport Beach, Huntington Beach, and Seal Beach. To the south on the coast is San Clemente and San Juan Capistrano. We're going to walk a bit, then we're going to get in the car. Along the way, we'll introduce you to some interesting folks in town, including Captain Dave Anderson, the owner of this boat, who's been taking people out for 25 years nearly to see whales and dolphins. As always, you can see more detailed mapping information on our Photowalk blog, so be sure to check it out. We're going to begin here at the tide pools right behind the Ocean Institute, then walk down to the water where you will see this great collection of rocks, caves, and depending upon the tides, plenty of tide pools. Photo tips: selfies, slow shutter, long exposures for dreamy water shots, which you can do. iPhone slow shutter trick. Take the shot in live mode, swipe up afterwards, and scroll to the end for long exposure. Next up, check out the Ocean Institute to read up about marine life and see marine life right in front of you. And selfie alert, your admission will get you onto that old ship, the Pilgrim, for some great photos. Walking out onto the historic Pilgrim boat is part of your Ocean Institute admission. The city was named after Richard Henry Dana, the famed explorer. This is a replica of his boat. Dana described the boat in his classic book, 2 years before the mast. Big photo tip: selfie alert, be careful about all the distractions. The last thing you want is a boat pole sticking out of your head. Take a few test shots first, please. From there, continue south and head to the harbor to get your whale watch tickets. Because you can't come to the whale and dolphin watching capital of the world and not go on the water to try and see them. A little later, you'll join us when we go out on Captain Dave's boat to see the dolphins and search for a whale or two. Meanwhile, let's continue our photo walk. Take pictures of the harbor boats. Photo tips: make good use of the water reflections, which add a nice touch to your image. Look for a boat with a memorable saying. They're not hard to find. What doesn't work, I found out, is a time lapse. I thought it was a great idea to get here at 5:30 in the morning and watch the night turn to morning over the boats. Only one hitch: time lapse speeds everything up, and instead of seeing some amazing clouds, I saw the current of the water jamming and rocking the boats. Perhaps a wider overhead view would have worked, but not this. You've come to Dana Point, so why not walk across the bridge and pay your respects to the statue of the town founder. Photo tip: this is an easy selfie because the statue is high up, so you can get the both of you in the shot. But if you want to pose in the same position as Mr. Dana back in the day, get someone else to take the picture for you. No photo tips here, but we all get hungry, right? So let's take a snack break. The local institution Coffee and Porters is beloved for their exotic coffees, multiple varieties of bagels, sandwiches, and ice cream. Okay, we're assuming that after lunch you are ready now for the boat ride. Again, we'll be back in a minute with a more in-depth look at our tour, so stay tuned. For now, the Dana Point walk is complete and it's time to get in the car. So unless you like to walk up really, really steep hills, you probably want to drive up here to the Headlands right down from the Interpretive Center and look out at this great view of the harbor. You can see the harbor, the bridge, and on and on and on. Remember, there are great hikes in the Headlands, and it's a great way to pick up wide shot photos of the area. Photo tip, panorama time. Remember that if you shoot this on a smartphone, keep your feet planted firmly on the ground and move your body as you take the shot, not your feet. Doheny State Beach is one of 2 popular surf spots in Dana Point.
So this beach, it's more mellow, better for like longboards and beginners.
It's a fun wave.
Photo tips, this is a great area for surf photography. If you have a DSLR, you will need a good telephoto lens for this. The Doheny stretch of sand was immortalized by the Beach Boys in their 1960s classic, Surfin' USA. Remember? Dana Point has 2 really swanky upscale resorts for your tourist dollar. Even if you can't afford to stay at the Monarch Beach Resort, it's fun to look, right? Check out the giant pool and golf course, and if you can handle it, walk down to the private seeming but public access beach. The public access beach next to the Ritz-Carlton is easier to get to. It's called Salt Creek Beach, and it has a public parking lot. Beyond the amazing grounds, the Ritz is high above the water and offers a killer 180-degree view of the beach, cliffs, and waves. Photo tips. Locals unanimously told me that this was the best spot for an awesome sunset shot. What do you think? Remember, for sunsets, be there at least 15 minutes before the sun goes down and stick around for a while afterwards. Sometimes you get even better colors. So beyond Doheny Beach, Salt Creek Beach is the other hot beach in town, particularly for the experienced surfer.
Salt Creek has a faster, steeper breaking wave.
The tunnel from the parking lot at Salt Creek is the best spot in town for this. If you'd like to get a classic Dana Point sign and VW bus in the shot with you. The last spot on the photo walk, end your day at Taco Surf, which is more than just a local Mexican restaurant. So the very first surf shop in Southern California was right here in Dana Point. It was called Hobie's. Hobie's has since grown up into a big chain. And today, Taco Surf, a really cool Mexican restaurant. Let's talk about Dana Point for a minute. Unlike the northern Orange County beach cities like Laguna and Newport, you can actually find a place to park. It doesn't have the hustle and bustle, it doesn't have some of the nightlife, but it does have a small, classic California beach community and marine life, small town, quaint, walkable city.
In the north is just much more built up, more commercial, etc. Lots of cars, lots of traffic. You don't get that same sort of vibe here. It's a little more exhale, take a deep breath, and relax.
Perhaps that's why Dana Point became the birthplace of Southern California surf, thanks to Hobie Surf Shop, the original location for Surfer Magazine and home of the director of the classic surf film, Endless Summer.
And oddly enough, not that the surf was phenomenal or good, they weren't necessarily the same as the North Shore in Hawaii or the Gold Coast in Australia. But what you did have was those industry pioneers who all ended up in the same place at the same time in Dana Point.
Now let's talk whales and dolphins. When you're out there in the water, have you seen any whales?
I haven't seen whales, but okay, I have a story if you want to hear it. There was one morning I was out here and I heard someone on the shore. I was in the lineup and someone said, "Oh, there's a sea lion," and I didn't really think anything of it. And a few minutes later, I swear to God, the thing swam up right next to me, looked me in the eye and barked at me and swam away. I screamed, everyone laughed. We see dolphins quite often, and I think it's just kind of magical when they're out there with us.
They are so serious about their perch here as the whale watching capital of the world that the phrase has been trademarked. Boat operators in Monterey, New Zealand, Iceland, and other places might have some qualms with that, but let's cede the floor to Captain Dave and give him the platform. Captain Dave, thank you so much for having us here. We're on your boat. in the whale watching capital of either the West or the world, however you want to phrase it. More of them are here in Dana Point than anywhere else.
We have the greatest density of dolphins per square mile of anywhere on Earth off Southern California. And we have the largest concentration of blue whales off of California. I've been all over the world whale watching. I mean, like, I have been almost everywhere where there's a lot of whales. And I've never seen any place that's better than right here. Monterey, it's a great place to go whale watching. There's lots of whales and dolphins there, but the weather there is hardly ever sunny when you go out on the water. It's oftentimes really rough, and you have to go a long ways out usually to see things. Same thing with the Channel Islands, because I know people might say, well, Dana Point's not as good as those places, but the weather here is way better. And so we rarely cancel a trip, and it's sunny out here a lot more than it is in those places. So while those are also great places, this place, into my view, because of the beautiful harbor and how quickly we can get out, is a better location to go whale watching from than anywhere on our coast.
In January. You are a photographer as well as a businessman and a captain.
Yeah.
What have you learned about the art of shooting a whale, photographing a whale?
Well, I would say the main thing that I've learned is how wonderful drones are, because for filming whales, when you're filming a whale from any position that's level to the water, you can only see half of the whale. But when you're up high like that, you can see what the whole whale is doing.
What about basic photography as far as getting a good shot? Can you do it with a smartphone?
Nowadays, yes, you can get an amazing video. If a whale is close to the boat, then you can get some beautiful footage from just from a phone. Dolphins especially, you can get great footage because they love to ride the pressure wave that's created by the boat moving through the water.
I would think burst mode would be really good for the dolphins, getting zillions of shots just to make sure you got something.
Oh yeah, sure. But
what I like to do is I like to watch the dolphin underwater and predict when it's going to jump out. Because if you tell your finger to click the shutter when it's out of the water, you're going to miss it, because that time takes too much until it's already back in the water. So if you start clicking just before the dolphin comes out.
Okay everyone, that's a wrap for our photo walk from Dana Point, California. If you enjoyed this video, you know what I'm about to ask. Please subscribe, please like, please share, please comment, hit the bell for the latest updates, and stay tuned. We got plenty of videos from the Orange County beach cities. If you enjoyed Dana Point, check out Laguna Beach, Newport Beach, Huntington Beach, and of course Seal Beach. I'm Jefferson Graham. Look for me on Twitter or Instagram. I'm at Jefferson Graham. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks again for watching everyone. I will see you on the